Black CEO removed from first class. One call later, Airline's $600M freezes. Hello everyone, before we begin today's video, I need your help. We've noticed that the channel is losing traction, and subscribing is one of the best ways you can help us. It's quick, free, and allows us to continue bringing you great content. Your support means everything. Let's keep this channel growing collectively. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the story. This seat is not for you. The words slice through the first-class cabin like a siren. Every conversation dies mid-sentence. The hum of the engines becomes the only sound left. Nicole, the lead flight attendant, stands over Alicia Grant, her gloved hand gripping the lapel of Alicia's bright crimson blazer, holding her in place just long enough to make a point. It's not a shove, but it feels like one. The gesture says everything. Her voice doesn't. You don't belong here. Alicia doesn't move. Her eyes stay steady, reflecting the cabin light like polished glass. The color of her jacket, a luminous red against the beige seats, burns quietly in the frozen air. One heartbeat. Two. Then she speaks, calm, almost gentle. Is there a problem? Nicole laughs under her breath, the kind of laugh that's meant to travel. First class isn't open seating, ma'am. You must have taken a wrong turn. Around them, silence rearranges itself into judgment. A man in a navy suit pretends not to stare. A woman 2 rows back whispers, "They really let anyone up here now." No one steps in. They just watch, curiosity laced with comfort because it isn't happening to them. Alicia exhales once. "My ticket," she says, offering it forward. Nicole doesn't take it. Instead, she folds her arms, voice smooth and cutting. "Security can handle this. We've had too many people trying things." Her eyes flick down and back up, measuring Alicia's skin, her plain shoes, her absence of designer labels. It's always the same story. A younger attendant, Mia, hovers near the galley, eyes darting between the screen and the woman in red. She's seen the boarding pass flash green. Valid first class, but fear glues her to the floor. Her mouth opens, closes again. The captain's voice murmurs faintly from the cockpit, asking for cabin-ready checks. "Nicole ignores it." She leans closer, lowering her voice but raising its weight. "Ma'am, you'll need to step out of this section before we depart." Alicia doesn't rise. Her voice stays level, anchored. "Check the system again." Nicole's smile tightens. "Our system doesn't make mistakes. It happens slowly, a deliberate withdrawal." Nicole straightens, signaling to her coworker. "Brian, call gate security." Gasps ripple down the aisle. The man in the navy suit shifts, embarrassed but silent. Someone starts recording. Alicia's hands rest on her knees, fingers interlaced. She's not shrinking. She's calculating. Her reflection in the polished window is calm, almost regal. The crimson of her jacket catches the sunlight like a warning flare. Before we continue, where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. And if you believe in dignity and justice, hit like and subscribe. These stories spark change, and we're glad you're here. Now back to Alicia. Nicole folds the torn stub of the boarding pass between 2 fingers and lets it fall. "I told you this seat isn't for you." Alicia finally looks up, her tone quiet but absolute. "No," she says. "It's exactly for me. You just don't know who you're talking to." The cabin holds its breath. The camera of every bystander phone captures the moment when calm meets cruelty and refuses to move. For 3 long seconds, no one breathes. The paper scrap from Alicia's torn ticket flutters to the floor like a verdict no one wants to claim. Nicole turns away, pretending composure, but her jaw tightens. She knows the cabin is watching. "Brian," she says, her voice suddenly brisk. "Call gate security now." Alicia's reflection glows faintly in the window beside her, crimson against glass and daylight. She doesn't reach for her phone yet. She just looks at the seat back ahead, counting the seconds between injustice and consequence. Around her, the air thickens. Brian hesitates, glancing at the passengers. Copy that," he murmurs, fishing for the interphone. His hand trembles slightly. He's realizing this isn't going to be simple. Across the aisle, the man in the navy suit lowers his sunglasses. "Unbelievable," he mutters, not sure if he's defending her or the system that embarrassed her. 2 rows back, a teenager raises her phone higher. The red record light blinks, proof that something ugly has already begun. Mia, the trainee, takes half a step forward. Her voice wavers. "Nicole, maybe there's a—" "Don't." Nicole snaps, slicing the word through the air. "We follow protocol." Alicia turns her head just enough to meet Mia's eyes. It's a calm look, but it lands like permission. Permission to remember this moment when the truth comes due. Then Alicia speaks, softly, controlled. "Before you involve security, scan the ticket again." Nicole exhales a short, bitter laugh. Ma'am, I already told you, then prove it. Alicia interrupts, not raising her voice, but every syllable lands heavy. If your system is flawless, prove it. A murmur rolls through the cabin. Someone whispers, she's got a point. Nicole's face reddens. Authority is slipping pixel by pixel in 100 tiny phone screens aimed her way. She snatches the portable scanner from its dock and presses it to the barcode half still attached to Alicia's stub. The device beeps once, then glows green. Valid first class. The color drains from her face. Brian leans over her shoulder. It's probably a glitch, he stammers. Reset it, Nicole says sharply. Run it again. She does. The same green light. Stronger this time, as if the machine itself refuses to lie. The silence that follows isn't peaceful. It's charged electric humming with the sound of something irreversible. Every passenger knows they've just witnessed the system expose itself. Alicia tilts her head. Still sure your system doesn't make mistakes, Nicole's lips part, but nothing comes out. The authority in her stance collapses an inch at a time. Brian steps back. Mia's eyes shine with a quiet, terrified respect. Then the captain's voice over the PA cabin crew secure the doors for departure. The timing lands like irony itself. Alicia reaches into her blazer, retrieves her phone, and presses one icon. She doesn't hide the gesture, she lets every camera see it. A soft chime. One call connected. She says only 3 words, Rachel, standby protocol. Her tone is calm, procedural, like this isn't anger, it's business. Nicole blinks. Who are you calling? Alicia meets her gaze without blinking. Someone who can fix what's broken, the teenager filming whispers. She's not joking. Mia finally finds her voice. Nicole, maybe we should double-check with ground control before. But Nicole cuts her off again, louder this time, desperate to reclaim control. Enough. She doesn't belong here, and we are done discussing it. Alicia stands smoothing the bright red fabric of her blazer. The motion is slow, deliberate. Every eye follows it. If I truly don't belong, she says evenly, then this whole airline has a problem. The line lands like a pin dropped on metal. Even the hum of the engines seems to hold back. Outside the window, a ground marshal gestures toward the cabin door, waiting for clearance. Inside, no one moves. The story has already left the runway, and so has Nicole's authority. The phone stays at Alicia's ear, but she doesn't speak right away. She lets the cabin settle into its own discomfort. The hum of the engines grows louder, restless, as if the jet itself senses what's coming. Then, calm, deliberate, she says, Rachel, confirm status. The voice on the other end is crisp, professional, almost clinical. Confirmed, Miss Grant. Your name still appears as principal shareholder on the Horizon Air Board. Do you wish to proceed? The line is quiet for a heartbeat. Alicia's gaze doesn't leave Nicole's. Proceed. Nicole frowns, trying to recover control. Excuse me, what are you? Before she can finish, Mia's tablet pings with an internal message. Her eyes widen. Priority alert, corporate verification request, Horizon Executive Channel. She looks from her screen to Alicia, then to Nicole. She's in the system. Nicole's smile stiffens, brittle as glass. That's impossible. Alicia finally lowers her phone. Nothing's impossible. You just never checked. The murmurs spread like ripples through the cabin. A man near the window whispers, Did she say shareholder? Another replies, Principal shareholder. The words start repeating, traveling seat to seat like static, shareholder, owner, CEO. Nicole forces a laugh that doesn't land. Ma'am, even if that were true, there's a process. There was. Alicia cuts in softly. Until you made it personal. Brian steps forward, voice low. Nicole, maybe Brian. She snaps, not now. Mia, unable to hold it in anymore, speaks up. She's right. I saw the boarding pass when she scanned in. It was green from the start. You told me to ignore it. A silence follows, heavy, final. The passengers know what they're seeing, a reversal in motion, power changing direction mid-flight. Nicole opens her mouth, searching for authority that's no longer hers. Look, we can resolve this quietly. Alicia's voice cuts through like a quiet verdict. Quiet is what allowed this. Her phone lights up again. Another call. Rachel's voice firmer now. Corporate just froze operational transfers from Horizon Air's main account. Legal wants confirmation that you're safe before unfreezing. The news hits like turbulence. Nicole blinks, trying to process. You can't, you're saying the company. Alicia looks at her, calm but unyielding. I'm saying every action has altitude. You chose to fall. Someone in the back claps, once startled by their own audacity. Another passenger joins, then stops halfway, unsure if it's allowed. But the energy has shifted. The room no longer belongs to the crew, it belongs to the truth. Nicole steps back, lips trembling. I didn't mean... Alicia gathers her torn ticket from the floor, smooths its edges like closing a file. Intentions don't erase impact, she says quietly. And you just grounded yourself. The captain's intercom crackles overhead, oblivious to the storm and first-class cabin crew ready for departure. Alicia slips her phone into her pocket. Not yet, she murmurs. The engines keep waiting. So does justice. The air feels different now. What was once quiet obedience becomes something sharp, electric, an atmosphere waiting to choose a side. Nicole stands frozen near the aisle, eyes darting between Alicia and the passengers whose phones now face her like mirrors. Every lens records. Every silence judges. Everyone please put your devices away, she manages, voice trembling behind a brittle smile. Recording in the cabin is against policy. A man in 3C answers without lowering his phone. So is discrimination. The crowd shifts, a ripple of murmured agreement. Alicia doesn't raise her voice. She simply sits back down the torn ticket, half resting on her knee, her crimson blazer glowing beneath the cabin light. If policy mattered, you'd have followed it, she says. Nicole's composure cracks. Ma'am, I was just following orders. Alicia's tone remains calm, but the words sting. Or following assumptions, Brian edges toward the galley, whispering into his interphone. We might need the captain up here. He glances at Alicia, then looks away, guilt rising like heat. Mia finally steps forward, shaking. It wasn't right, she blurts out. She scanned Green. You told me to say it failed. Her voice trembles, but the truth lands heavier than any accusation. For a beat, the cabin is completely still. Then passengers begin murmuring low, angry, unified. Someone mutters, you can't treat people like that. Another adds, she handled it better than I would have. Nicole's hand grips the armrest beside her. You're all misunderstanding. Alicia's phone buzzes again. She glances at the screen, Horizon Legal. Emergency. Notice confirmed. The corporate gears are already moving. She doesn't announce it. She doesn't need to. The timing says enough. A middle-aged woman near the curtain stands up. Miss, if they try to remove you, I'll record everything, she says. Others nod. A small chorus of solidarity rises, not loud but firm. Nicole tries again to command the moment. Please remain seated, we'll handle this internally. But the authority is gone. Her words sound like echoes of a system unraveling in real time. Alicia meets her eyes. You already did handle it the wrong way. Mia looks at Alicia, almost whispering. Are you really the owner? Alicia offers a faint smile. You'll find out before takeoff. Then she looks out the window. Outside, the runway stretches endless and white under the noon light. Inside, a single truth takes off first. The woman they tried to remove just grounded a company with her silence. The engines begin to spool, waiting for permission to move. Nicole steps back, speechless, her headset blinking red. And Alicia Grant, the woman in the bright red blazer, sits perfectly still, the calm center of a storm that can no longer be ignored. The cabin door opens with a metallic sigh, and Captain Rhodes steps inside. His uniform is immaculate, his posture straight from decades of command. But his eyes read the room instantly. The tension hits him before the air pressure does. Is there a problem here? He asks, voice steady but wary. Nicole turns too fast. Captain, this passenger. Alicia doesn't move. She's still seated, phone in hand, calm as glass. Was accused, insulted, and nearly removed from a seat she paid for. Her tone isn't defensive, it's diagnostic. You might want to review your crew's definition of a passenger. The captain glances between them, then at the sea of phones recording. Everyone, let's lower our voices, he says. We'll get this sorted. A man up front mutters, it's already sorted. Another adds, she owns you. Nicole's cheeks flush red. Sir, please, she's pretending to be. Alicia raises her phone, slightly interrupting without effort. Captain, before you continue, check your internal channel. Corporate Command just issued a freeze on all Horizon Air accounts pending an inquiry. It's about to appear on your system. Rhodes frowns. That's impossible, his earpiece chirps. He listens, blinks. Then his expression shifts from disbelief to something like caution. Copy that, yes, I'm aware she's on board. Nicole's breath catches. What did they say? The captain looks directly at her. They said she's not just on the manifest, she's on the ownership board. Gasps ripple through the cabin. The passengers stare, their curiosity turning into vindication. Alicia finally stands the light, catching her crimson blazer as if the color itself were reclaiming the space. You wanted protocol, she says softly. This is it. Nicole stumbles for words. I didn't know. Alicia nods once. That's the problem. The captain straightens. Ms. Grant, on behalf of Horizon Air, one sincerely apologize. Please allow me to. But Alicia lifts a hand. Not yet. You're not the one who needs to apologize. Her gaze drifts to Nicole, whose headset blinks, uselessly searching for a signal that no longer answers her. From the intercom above, a sterile announcement cuts through. Attention crew, operational hold confirmed. Await executive clearance before departure. The irony lands heavy. The flight can't move until she says so. Brian whispers, "She really did it." Mia exhales, half in awe, half in relief. Alicia leans toward the captain, voice measured. "Tell ground control this aircraft will remain docked until I speak with Horizon Legal. No one leaves, no one flies. Not until accountability boards." Rhodes nods once the soldiers reflex. Understood. Then Alicia turns to the watching passengers. "Thank you," she says quietly, "for seeing what too many pretend not to." The cabin is silent again, but not out of fear, out of respect. The woman they tried to erase has just grounded an entire airline without raising her voice. In less than 5 minutes, the storm inside the cabin spreads far beyond it. Screens in Horizon Air's headquarters blink with flashing alerts. Executive override. Flight 782, lockdown. Emails cascade like dominoes through departments that thought they ran the company. Inside the plane, Alicia sits still. Her phone rests face down on her thigh, but the vibration is constant. Board members, legal teams, public relations, all waking up to a crisis that started with a single insult. Nicole stands near the galley, pale, headset limp around her neck. "Captain, this can't be real," she whispers. "She can't just stop an entire operation." Captain Rhodes doesn't answer. He's watching his cockpit screen update. Departure delayed. Executive hold, shareholder intervention. "Believe it," says the man in 3C, the one who filmed everything. "The internet already has." He turns his phone around, thousands of live viewers watching the feed he started 15 minutes ago. The caption reads, "Black woman kicked from first class. Turns out she owns the airline." The comment count climbs by the second. Mia stares at it wide-eyed. "It's trending." Nicole covers her mouth. "Oh my God." Alicia looks over, calm as ever. "Public exposure isn't punishment," she says quietly. "It's documentation." Her phone lights up again. This time the message is from Rachel, Horizon Legal. All accounts frozen. Press statement pending. "Do you wish to authorize personnel suspension?" Alicia doesn't reply yet. She lets the words hover on screen, then locks the phone. "Captain," she says evenly, "prepare for a company-wide announcement. It'll come through before we taxi." He nods, hesitant. "Understood." The passengers shift in their seats, some whispering, some applauding softly. The young woman with the camera wipes tears from her cheek. "I've seen videos like this," she murmurs, "but never one that ended this way." Alicia turns slightly toward her. "It's not ending," she says. "It's correcting." Nicole takes a step forward, her voice trembling. "Miss Grant, please." Alicia meets her eyes. "Save it for HR. They'll need your statement." The words aren't cruel. They're final. Outside, a ground vehicle halts beside the jet bridge. 2 corporate officers step out, phones pressed to their ears, faces drawn tight. Through the window, their body language tells the truth, panic disguised as procedure. The captain receives a message on his console and clears his throat. "Miss Grant, corporate has requested confirmation. Are we remaining on hold?" Alicia nods once. "Until accountability is signed. No exceptions." The captain leans back, exhaling. "Copy that?" The passengers watch, silent but awed. In their eyes, the crimson figure in seat 2 Amperes no longer looks like someone wronged. She looks like authority itself, calm at the center of chaos she never asked for. Outside, sunlight pours through the cabin windows. Inside, the power dynamic has already changed forever. The woman they tried to remove is now the reason the world is watching. The intercom crackles with static. Then a voice none of the passengers expect fills the cabin. "This is Horizon Air Corporate Communications. Please remain seated. A formal statement will be transmitted momentarily." Every head turns toward Alicia. She doesn't move. She simply folds her hands, the faint shimmer of her crimson blazer catching the cabin lights like a warning flare. On every crew tablet, a banner flashes: executive transmission, mandatory playback. The captain glances at her once. She nods. He presses accept. A woman's voice, smooth and practiced, fills the plane. "Horizon Air has become aware of an incident involving a shareholder and a member of our flight crew. We are investigating this matter with immediate effect. The involved employees are temporarily suspended pending review." We deeply regret the unacceptable conduct that occurred aboard Flight 782. A collective gasp breaks through the cabin. Mia's eyes fill with tears. Nicole's hand drops from her headset like it's suddenly too heavy to hold. The statement continues, Horizon Air is committed to equality, dignity, and safety for all passengers. We extend our apologies to Miss Alicia Grant, whose professionalism and restraint embody the standards we aim to uphold. Nicole's lips tremble. They used her name, she whispers. Brian exhales sharply. They used her name. Alicia doesn't smile, but her stillness speaks louder than triumph. This isn't victory, it's verification. The world is watching and the truth has an audience now. The passengers begin clapping, first a few hesitant, then the sound spreads through the cabin like wind through leaves. Some film the moment, others simply stare at her with something between awe and guilt. Nicole finally turns toward Alicia, voice breaking. I didn't mean for it to. Alicia stops her with a glance. Meaning isn't the same as consequence. The intercom chimes again. The captain's voice returns softer this time. Miss Grant Corporate has authorized disembarkation for affected staff. Security will escort them from the aircraft. Nicole looks at him stunned. You're removing us, he nods once. Effective immediately. A hush falls. The aisle feels longer than ever. Nicole takes a step then, another escorted by ground personnel who just boarded. She passes Alicia without a word, but her eyes hold the weight of everything she didn't see until too late. As the cabin door closes behind her, Alicia exhales a quiet, controlled release. The tension leaves with the woman who brought it in. Rachel's voice hums through her phone's earpiece one last time. Press coverage is already live. Hashtag Z2A is trending worldwide. Alicia glances out the window where the afternoon sun splits into golden shards across the tarmac. Good, she says softly. Let them see what silence can do. The engines remain idle. The sky for once waits. The cabin is still humming from the aftermath, the applause fading into a stunned quiet. The air feels thinner, like every breath now carries the weight of consequence. Alicia's phone vibrates again. Rachel's message appears. HQ requests confirmation, proceed with corporate sanctions. She tilts the screen toward the captain, a silent assurance that nothing here is impulsive. Patch me through to legal, she says. Captain Rhodes nods, toggling a secure line. Within seconds, a calm male voice fills the cabin speaker nearest to her seat. Miss Grant, we're ready for your authorization. Alicia stands adjusting her crimson blazer. The light hits it just right, glowing more like armor than fabric. She doesn't raise her voice, but every word lands cleanly. Effective immediately, the Horizon Air internal protocol for bias reporting will be rewritten under board supervision. The crew involved in today's incident are suspended without reinstatement review until after external audit, and I want diversity training reinstated across every hub. No exceptions. There's a pause, then a measured response. Understood, Miss Grant. The order's logged. Implementation starts now. Alicia lowers her phone. The passengers are silent again, but their faces carry something new: respect. The woman they watched being humiliated minutes ago is now reshaping policy mid-flight. Brian breaks the silence. Mom, I'm sorry, he says quietly, for standing there. Alicia meets his eyes. Then stand for something next time. Mia swallows hard, stepping forward. I'll testify if they need it. The footage, it's all time-stamped. Alicia nods gently. Keep it safe. Not for revenge, for record. Her phone lights once more, a news alert flashing across the lock screen. Number seat 2A2, 7M views in 40 minutes. Public statement pending presidential comment. She lets the screen dim without reacting. The world can have its noise. She's already delivered her truth. Captain Rhodes approaches. Miss Grant, ground control asks if we're cleared for departure. Alicia looks toward the aisle where Nicole once stood, now empty quiet. Clear them, she says. It's time to move forward. He nods and returns to the cockpit. The engines spool to life, a low rumble echoing through the floor. Alicia sits again, fastening her belt. The woman in the next seat leans closer. That was incredible. Alicia answers softly, no. It was necessary. As the plane begins its slow taxi, the crimson reflection of her jacket dances across the window, merging with the sunlight outside. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply takes its seat and the world adjusts its altitude. The aircraft begins its slow roll toward the runway, engines whispering beneath the cabin floor. The storm that had filled the air only an hour ago has settled into something quieter, respectful, electric, alive. Alicia gazes through the oval window. Her reflection meets her eyes, calm, steady, crimson blazing against the soft afternoon light. Her phone vibrates again, this time with a message from Horizon PR. Press release approved. Going live in 60 seconds. She exhales once, barely audible. Let them know. Across the cabin, passengers' devices begin to ping at once, news alerts flashing in unison. Breaking Horizon Air confirms CEO Alicia Grant on board during discrimination incident. Beneath the headline, a photo from someone's video, thumbnail her seated in 2 amperes, face serene, the light catching her red blazer like a flare in the dark. Gasps ripple softly through the aisles. She's the CEO, someone whispers. She owns the company. The words spread like wind, but this time they're filled with awe, not disbelief. Mia's eyes widen. You're her, the one who took Global Rise public. Alicia nods faintly. That's one of the things I've done. A man further down the aisle shakes his head, half in shame, half in wonder. And they told you you didn't belong here. Alicia turns to him, voice even. They weren't wrong. They just didn't know what here really meant. Her phone buzzes once more, this time a direct call from Rachel. It's everywhere, Alicia. CNN, Reuters, every outlet. The board just held an emergency vote, new inclusivity policy adopted unanimously. You set a precedent in 45 minutes. Alicia's lips part in a small, tired smile. Justice moves faster when you stop asking permission. Rachel pauses. Do you want to issue a personal statement? Alicia looks out at the horizon, the sun beginning to tilt toward gold. No words, she says. They've seen enough. The captain's voice comes through the intercom. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been cleared for takeoff. The cabin leans back as the jet begins to accelerate, the vibration building under their feet. The runway blurs. Outside wind streaks across the wings. Inside, the passengers hold their breath, not from fear but reverence. As the plane lifts, sunlight floods through the windows, painting Alicia in a wash of gold and red. The world below shrinks, but the story grows larger by the second. Mia looks at her and whispers, "You grounded them and still took off." Alicia smiles gently. That's what leadership is, Mia. You rise, but you make sure others see how. The aircraft climbs into the open sky, the clouds parting like curtains before a new stage. The incident that began with a single cruel sentence now becomes a symbol shared across millions of screens. For the first time that day, Alicia closes her eyes. The engines hum like applause she never needed. Power doesn't shout. It ascends. By the time Flight 782 breaks through the clouds, the story has already circled the globe. From New York to Nairobi, from London to Lagos, every newsfeed glows with the same image: Alicia Grant seated in first class, calm and crimson eyes lifted toward the light. Television anchors trade facts in hurried tones. Horizon Air's CEO was mistaken for a fraud by her own staff. Alicia Grant ordered a $600 freeze before takeoff. The most powerful woman in aviation just redefined accountability. Inside the cabin, Wi-Fi pings come alive like raindrops. Passengers scroll speechless, realizing they are part of something far bigger than a delayed flight. A teenage girl near the back whispers to her mother. She didn't yell once. Her mother nods. That's the kind of power they don't teach. Mia sits across the aisle, still shaken but lighter. Ma'am, the comments online, people are calling you the calmest revolution they've ever seen. Alicia's gaze stays on the clouds outside. Revolutions don't always need noise. Sometimes they just need evidence. Her phone glows again, Horizon HQ, statement draft V2. She scrolls briefly, reading the headline, Company-wide reform under immediate direction of CEO Alicia Grant. She doesn't smile, just closes the document. Finally, they used the right name. Across the Atlantic, the video of her confrontation plays on every screen, caption dissected, celebrated. Civil rights advocates quote her lines. Business analysts call it a masterclass in quiet control. Even competitors post messages of solidarity. The incident has become more than corporate scandal. It's a mirror the world can't stop looking into. Back in the cabin, the tension has turned into reverence. Passengers move differently now, gentler, careful with their words. Nicole's empty jump seat sits like a ghost between what was and what must never be again. Brian approaches timidly, offering a bottle of water. For you, Miss Grant. Alicia accepts it, nodding. Thank you. He hesitates. It's an honor to fly with you. Then fly better, she says softly. Outside the clouds, thin sunlight washing the cabin in warmth. The horizon stretches endless, appropriately named. Alicia glances at her reflection in the window. The woman staring back isn't the same one who boarded hours ago. She carries no anger, only proof. Her phone buzzes once more, this time a text from Rachel. Unwomen just requested an interview. Leadership under fire. Want me to confirm? Alicia types back a single line. Not yet. Let the story breathe. The engines hum steady, the sky open and endless ahead. The incident that tried to shrink her has instead expanded the world's definition of dignity. The jet keeps climbing as if the altitude itself knows whose hands guide its course. When Flight 782 begins its descent, the sky is streaked in gold. The intercom crackles with the captain's voice, steady, respectful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching New York. On behalf of Horizon Air, thank you for your patience. No one claps. No one speaks. The entire cabin sits in that strange quiet reserved for historic moments that haven't finished happening yet. Alicia closes her laptop, the screen filled with incoming headlines. Aviation's new altitude of accountability. She glances once at the window, the city lights flicker below like constellations waiting to be named. Mia leans toward her. There are reporters at the gate, she says softly. Hundreds. They want to see you. Alicia replies without looking up. Then let them see the truth exactly as it happened. The wheels touch down with a smooth sigh, the cabin rocking gently forward. As the plane taxis to its gate, passengers lift their phones again. Not to film scandal now, but to remember composure. When the door opens, the noise outside rushes in. Camera flashes paint the aisle in white bursts. Uniformed officers stand beside Horizon Air, executives' faces drawn tight in contrition. Captain Rhodes rises, first turning toward her. Miss Grant, he says quietly, thank you for your grace today. Alicia nods. Grace only matters when it costs something. He opens the cabin door wider, clearing the way. The first step she takes is deliberate, measured, the stride of someone who has already forgiven but not forgotten. The terminal erupts in the roar of journalists, microphones thrust forward. Miss Grant, do you plan to press charges? Will the crew be reinstated? Do you think this changes corporate America? Alicia stops the light, catching her crimson blazer one last time. Her voice, when it comes, is calm enough to still the noise. This was never about punishment. It's about pattern. You don't fix a company by firing a few faces, you fix it by changing the reflection they work under. Cameras flash again, capturing every word. She continues, softer now, meant for everyone and no one in particular. Power isn't what you take, it's what you choose to return when people think you've lost it. Behind her, the passengers watch through the doorway. Mia stands among them, chin high. Brian lowers his eyes, ashamed but grateful for the lesson. Alicia moves through the corridor toward the press line. Each flash of light folds into the red of her jacket until she seems to carry her own horizon with her. At the terminal exit, Rachel waits with a phone in one hand, a tablet in the other. It's global now, she says. They're calling it the Flight 782 standard. Alicia allows herself a small breath, half sigh, half relief. Good. Standards keep us in the air. She steps into the cool air outside the terminal, a calm silhouette against the twilight. The woman who was told she didn't belong has just landed a movement. Night settles over the city like a curtain, soft and deliberate. Alicia stands by the glass wall of her penthouse office overlooking the Hudson, the skyline pulsing with light below. Her crimson blazer hangs over the chair behind her. Now she wears white silk, calm after the storm. On the desk, her phone buzzes every few seconds. Headlines, thank you messages, invitations, board updates. She ignores them all, watching the reflection of the city ripple against the glass. Rachel's voice comes through the speaker. The press won't stop calling. Every outlet wants a quote for the morning cycle. Alicia answers quietly. They already have one. It's written in how we handled it. There's a pause. The board signed your reforms. Training, reporting, diversity council, all of it. You changed the whole flight plan. Alicia smiles faintly. Good. Let's make sure it flies. She ends the call and turns off the phone. The silence that follows isn't empty, it's earned. On the table sits the torn boarding pass from Flight 782, taped together carefully, edges aligned. She runs a finger across the seam. The rip is still visible, but it holds like something that's been broken honestly and rebuilt stronger. Her mind drifts back to the cabin, the accusation, the stillness, the quiet authority that turned humiliation into precedent. She remembers the faces, fear, anger awakening, and how silence wielded correctly became its own revolution. Outside, a plane climbs through the night sky, its lights blinking faintly against the stars. Alicia watches it until it disappears into the dark. Her voice, soft but certain, fills the room. They said the seat wasn't mine. Maybe it never was. But now every woman who looks like me will know she has one waiting. She walks to the window, the city reflected across her face like constellations rearranging themselves. From the street far below, a billboard flickers to life, horizon air, rewriting the standard. The tagline underneath reads, "Dignity deserves altitude." Alicia's reflection smiles, not proud, not triumphant, but peaceful. She picks up the repaired ticket and slides it into a leather notebook marked Protocol 7. Then she turns off the office lights. The skyline glows behind her, silhouetted and gold, merging like sunrise. Because justice, when it's real, doesn't end with applause. It lands quietly. And then it lifts the world.